Hello everybody, this is Elliot from ETJ English, not Macaulay Culkin. So many of you guys have been writing comments saying, Elliot, you look like that guy, that kid in Home Alone. Well, I'm sorry, I'm in no way related to him. You should see my brother though, he really does look like Macaulay Culkin. Today, in this video, we're going to be talking about a few different ways in which you can sound more British. So everything I talk about is pronunciation. I'm a pronunciation teacher, and I think there are a few different things which we can do to just sound a little bit more British faster, to make it happen faster. We need to focus on a few different things. Now, these kind of 4 things that I'm going to tell you today are not all the things you need to do. They're just a few little ideas for you to practice and to think about when you're trying to sound a bit more British. The first thing that I would like to talk to you about is when we should and shouldn't use the letter or the sound the R. So first of all, Americans, they pronounce the R, they have a rhotic R. Whereas in British English, it's a little bit more complicated. So when words finish with the letter R, we do not pronounce it. Better. We use the schwa. Now, if you haven't seen my video about the schwa sound, you can go back and watch that on my channel. But an American, they would say better, where they do this on the end. Now, British English, we pronounce it as an better. So a few more words we have. Weather. Okay, another schwa at the end because it's an And also if we have words that simply end with just the letter R. For example, here. Here. Now that sound at the end is actually called a diphthong. The ear sound. And we'll talk about that in another video. So, when do we pronounce the R in British English when it's in a word? Well, we only pronounce the R when it appears before a vowel sound. For example, listen to this sentence. I'm going to drive around the area in my car. I'm going to drive around the area in my car. So we pronounce the R's in the words like area, drive, because there is a vowel after that R. But the word car, there's no vowel after that. Okay? So, generally, that's what happens. We also have something else in British English which is related to connected speech in pronunciation. And this is called the intrusive R or the linking R. Now this is when we join our words with an R. Okay, now I'm not going to talk about that in this video because that will take a long time. It's quite detailed. But, for example, if I was asking my friend where he is, instead of saying, where are you? Where are you? What I will do is I will link with an R. Where are you? Where are you? And this is because we're lazy. We need to join our words together and make it sound more native, more smooth, and just easier to come out of the mouth. And that's what we call the intrusive R or the linking R. The next tip that I want to give you is to drop your T's. Use the glottal T sometimes. And why sometimes? Why can't I say a bottle of water? Well, the reason why is because really that's only kind of used with Cockney accents. Generally, if you want to be, to have that kind of standard sounding British accent, the southern British accent, not RP, because RP is not used really anymore. About 2% of the population uses RP English now. But if you want kind of a normal British southern accent, then generally we will drop our T's sometimes in less formal occasions, even in formal occasions sometimes. I've been in job interviews before where I might drop the T on the word it. So for example, it was good, instead of saying it was good. To give you a few more examples, I could say, where is it? Where is it? Instead of saying, where is it? We can do that, but we can pronounce the T, you can do either. But I just think sometimes it's good to drop a T because it will make you sound that little bit more British and just have that kind of British sound to your voice. One more, I could say to my friend, I'll see you a little bit later. A little bit later. So I'm pronouncing the T in little, but because bit isn't really that much of an important word in that sentence, it's kind of what we would call a function word, we drop it a little bit later. Okay, so we just kind of drop that T on the end to make it easier, quicker, and more British. So, continuing on, the last thing I want to tell you are two sounds that I think are very important to British English. Now, there are a lot of sounds that are important to British English, but these two are particularly good to know, and hopefully this will give you a good idea. So, first of all, the O sound. It's a sound that would be in words like a lot, problem, what, forgot. So it's that O sound where we kind of make this shape with our mouth like that, like a fish. And the reason why this is important is because, for example, Americans and a lot of non-natives learn to pronounce it in the American way, which would be ah. So for example, problem instead of problem, 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 pra. So we don't want that ah or r sound. We want it to be an O if we want to sound more British. I'm sorry, my American accent is terrible, by the way. For example, in a sentence, what's the problem? What's the problem? Okay. And finally, the other sound which I think is quite important is the sound. For example, in a word like word or work. I want to wear a purple shirt on Thursday. I want to wear a purple shirt on Thursday. Now, an American would pronounce that as purple shirt, and we don't want that. We want it to be an sound if we want that more British sound. It's a very difficult sound to learn. All of my Skype students find that sound difficult. Maybe one day I'll do a video about this if you want me to. Please tell me. Your feedback really helps. Now, that's the end of that video. Hopefully those tips will get you started on your journey to sounding a little bit more British. If you have any other questions or anything, if you want me to continue this series, please tell me and I'll make another video soon. Don't forget to follow me on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of that stuff. Visit my website if you would like to book a Skype pronunciation lesson. And finally, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and leave me a comment and tell me how much you love me. See you in the next video. Cheers.